All right. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of sick and tired of the way things are going in this world right now. It's there's so much that people are being bombarded by. It's just going too fast for us humans. We can't keep up with the rate that these things are happening. Like, look at all the things that have happened in just the last, 20 years since the beginning of the 2000s. It's I don't understand why we're trying to make everything so much better and bigger and faster and more of a convenience. And this technology, they just keep making it faster and faster and better and more and have more memory and all this stuff. Like, when does it come to an end? And like, another thing I'll use is like these movies that they're putting out nowadays. How many of the same movies can I watch before I just stop watching movies altogether, like I almost did? I did a video a while ago about saying I don't watch any kind of movies anymore. Drama movies, horror movies. I said just drama in the video, but I don't watch any kind of movies no more because they're always all the same and they're trying to put out what has already been put out before it. It's like there comes a time where it's if you are not making something that is very unique and genuine, and you put a lot of effort and stuff into it, then it's just going to be like everything else. How many times can we all do the same thing that somebody has already done? And see, this is really weird because I was going to say look for new things to do and new things to come across. But then I would be saying that it would sound like I'm saying, well, let the technology get better and let the phones get faster and let the cars get faster and let this thing get bigger and that thing get, more technologically advanced. But I don't mean it like that. I mean it like we already have the tools necessary to do so many things right now. And we've been had enough. We've been had enough. For decades, we've been had enough. We had, back in the 80s, we had cassettes that played, music on them, but we weren't happy with that. So we went to CDs. Okay, with the CDs, we went to Blu-ray. And then, oh, we weren't happy with that. We don't want a CD at all. We want to, hear it on our phones, or we want to listen to it on a Bluetooth without having to have anything, just listen to it with nothing. It's like there comes a point where it just has to stop. It's like enough is enough. You can't do much more with this thing, and you're trying so hard to make it something else, and you're at the end of the road. And it's like, when are we ever content? And when are we ever satisfied? you know Humans, we are just, most humans are never satisfied. Never. Like Hitler was not satisfied with Germany. Hitler was not satisfied when he went and took over Italy, and, or I meant to say, France. And he took over so much other stuff. He took over Denmark, all kinds of stuff. He wasn't happy with that. He had to have more. He had to have more territories and stuff. And it's like, when does it end? When does it end, people? You know, isn't 4G enough? Why in the world do we need 5G? Why? Why? It's insanity. It's insanity. And like the computers and the music stuff now, it's already enough. We can't do enough with what we have right now. So why do we need more? Like, I have this little drum machine here, an Electribe 2, the synth and drum machine version. And I have a Roland JD-Xi. It's a synth with drum sounds on it. I could make beats on these things for years, and then there's a DAW, which has thousands and thousands of synth sounds that you can get. You can get thousands of effects. There's so many possibilities, but yet we're coming up with more and more. There's already an eternity of things that you can do that I can do with the sounds that I have now, even with these little machines. There is so much more I can do if I explore and get into it. It's crazy. It's crazy because I think about some of these musicians, for any musicians that are listening. I think about you musicians, and you have these VSTs and these plugins, and you have these synthesizers that have hundreds and hundreds of sounds. And do you know that you can manipulate them sounds to sound way different, and then you can shape them different. You can change the envelope and the resonance and the filter, and you can put a compression on it, a flanger, a chorus, reverb, different reverbs, different delays. There's so many things that you can do with what you already have. We do not need more stuff. This is why I always say about being thankful for what you do have, and the less is more attitude. If I took the sounds that were created from the late 80s, early 90s, and I had most of them sounds that people made or created, I could take those and use that for the rest of my life, the rest of my career. I wouldn't need nothing else. I wouldn't even be able to budge and go through and manipulate and, change the sounds how I want them in a song. I couldn't even get through, who knows, 1,000th of them. But yet, people are still coming up with more and more, and it'll keep happening. It's like, my goodness, we already have so much stuff to work with. It's like, make it work with that. It already sounds fantastic and great, even without these extra effects and these guitar pedals and things like that. If I can make it work with an Electribe 2 drum machine and synth with 409 sounds, and the Roland JD-Xi with about 100 some synth, bass, string sounds, and then about 400 drums on there. If I can make it work with that, then, if you can't make it work with thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of samples and synthesizers and chorus sounds and string sounds. I mean, if you can't make that work, I mean, I don't want to come across and I don't want to down your craft, but man, I mean, you have so much that you have to work with. You don't need nothing new that's coming out. You know, if you hear something that you really like, okay, that's cool. You want that thing. But what I'm saying is you can create stuff with what has already been made and is out today and has been out for years. You know, I look for more older things because I know that there is something from decades ago that I haven't heard or I haven't seen or I haven't witnessed and it hasn't went into my head yet. And this is what I look forward to. It's like that gem that you find at the bottom of the sea in a treasure chest. And when you find it, you're like, oh my goodness, no one has ever found this or did this the way that I'm going to do it. You see, that's how I see the art and music and stuff. And I could get into that. I could talk about that for years. I could talk about music and sound and rhythm and groove and swing and how you can change a sound with the filter, the resonance, the decay, the effects that you put on it, the way that you make it draw out or the envelope. There's so many things with music. It's an entire it's ecosystem after ecosystem after ecosystem of things that you can do. It's not just one little ecosystem of things you can do with music. And that's what's so great about the arts. But I say that because it correlates in with what I'm saying about this when I say less is more. Because we just keep wanting more and more and more. And we keep wanting things to be faster and faster and faster and better and better and better and better. And this is really not our nature. Our nature is to work with what we have. You know, it's too much is too much. Too much is just too much. And some people, they don't agree with this. They don't agree with this less is more thing. But these kind of people, they will go through hundreds of sounds and they won't appreciate, you know, the sounds that you went through. You know, you're looking for the best sound. You know what I mean? Why don't you get a sound where you say, man, I think I can do something with that. I can put an effect on there. I can put a chorus on there and I can put a little string on top of it, or I can put a plucked instrument or a guitar or a synth or a drum or a snare or a hi-hat. See, that's just one of the ingredients in the whole mix. And I don't think we're realizing how big this music thing is and how big what we already have is already huge. It's already big. That's what I mean. We don't need no more. You don't need no more. I don't need no more. That's why I say that's why I'm against this faster thing. Like with this 5G and stuff. No, no, no. 4G is enough, people. It is enough. I mean, how ungrateful and unthankful are you really? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy when I sit here and talk about this. Oh, man, where do I go? Where do I go from here to try to make people see this? You know, say there's a cure for Hep C. I'm in the process right now of getting the medication to get rid of my Hep C that I had for a long time. if there is a medication that kills it, that is good enough for me. I don't want some medication that kills it and that makes me feel like I'm on top of the world, and you know, it it does something with my teeth to where I don't have to brush them or floss them. Oh, we have this drug now. It cures Hep C, but it also cleans your teeth without you having to brush them, or it makes your skin clear without having to do anything to your skin, and it'll make your eyes clear. I don't want that. I just want the cure for the Hep C so I can move on with my life. This is an age of very ungrateful people. I'm sorry to say that, but be content with the things that you have. This less is more approach is the only way that I know, because when I have less, I think more. It does more for me. It sounds like a contradiction. It sounds wrong, like less is more. But it's just like with food. If you eat too much food, you get sick. Less food is better. And it's with other things. If you drink too much water, you'll get bloated. If you drink less, you won't get bloated, but you'll quench your thirst. It's just everything is just going way too fast, and all of us are way too far ahead of ourselves. We are way too far ahead of ourselves. I'm backing away. I am backing away from all of this new stuff that we are being bombarded with. I haven't even discovered or came across things from the 80s or the 90s or even way back. I haven't even come across those things yet in history. I haven't even learned, about them times. I'm just getting you to think about this. 5G. No. More, better, faster. No. Soon enough, things are going to be doing things for us. See, we're going to become so lazy and out of shape, and then we'll be going to the hospitals more. We'll be getting more medications. The rich will keep getting richer. The poor will keep getting poorer. They're going to cut down way more trees. There's going to be way more resources used for these things that we think that we need and we don't. So, I'm just using this as an example. But music and sound, like I said, there are already ecosystems that you have to work with. Galaxies of sounds and instruments and samples and drums and voices and your own voice. You can do so much with your own voice. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. So why do we need more and more? We already have what we need. It's right here. It's already here. We already have tens of thousands of sounds that people might have used like one time and then just threw to the curb. Do you understand this? Like, you can take like the worst sound and make it sound like something that no one has ever heard. Think about this. I'm just getting people to think. So, and right now, I put myself in the mood to make music. Now I feel like making something. Because, see, I'm saying I don't have so much to work with, but I'm going to make it work. I'm going to explore and I'm going to discover and I'm going to make it work. Later.